Okay, let's take this question. How can CA firms grow their practice faster? This is a problem with most of the small size CA firms. So let me start answering this by giving you a small statistics. Recent numbers suggest that there are individual practitioners are around 3,776, which constitute to 3.82% of the total practitioners. Sole proprietorship firms, we have got close to 68,194, which is 68.84%. And partnership firms are 27,085, which is constitute about 27.34%. So if you look at the total numbers, individual practitioners and sole proprietorship firm constitute around 72.66%. Now this is a large chunk, particularly the sole proprietorship firms are 68,194 practicing firms. Now, as you look at today's scenario and the things that is evolving, it becomes a challenge for individual practitioners and sole proprietorship firms to provide the kind of services, the kind of updations that is required to be made on a continuous basis. Now, most of the firms are practicing in income tax, GST audits, and other type of areas, particularly to sole proprietorship firm, partnership firms also, and individual practitioners. So there is always a sort of requirement that looks at how do we scale up the knowledge, how do we scale up the capacity. So one of the institute's observation that I would like to just bring to your notice is like, what are the typical concerns institute has observed, the ICI has observed in terms of the growth of Indian CA firms. It says that majority CA firms are small sized firms, which of course the numbers do speak on that. The large number of firms have a confined place or a confined practice to audits and taxation. So majority is audit and taxation. Then many firms have audits allotted through the ICI PDC empanelment process. Members have attachment with their firm name. In fact, that is one of the biggest observation the survey what ICI conducted and suggests that since the members have attachment with their firm name and do not want to go for mergers or network due to fear of loss of identity. So this identity has been pointed as one of the major points for CA firms, which is limiting the expansion. And then when client grows bigger, they tend to switch over to a larger firm with an expectation that the larger firms will better cater to the diversified and growing needs. This has been going for a long time. You see that when the client starts growing, he feels the existing firm is not able to cater to the complexities of the real-time situations, and they tend to go into a larger thing. So basically the entire development from the initial concept stage possibly has been worked out by a small firm, but when it comes to the benefits of that, it has not been there. And also, Institute have observed that firms that have ventured into newer areas of practice have found success and have been able to scale up. And firms that have developed expertise or specialization have prospered. So basically, we talk about specialization, and the Institute also has identified that specialization firms are in a greater demand. And we see also in individual name practitioners as well as in the sole proprietor or a partnership, there are specialized professionals who tend to cater to the client, but that is all on a limited scale. And Institute also has observed that firms that have networked and formed a larger structure have by and large scaled up. So that's an important observation. Now, having said that, what is an option for a individual practitioner and or sole proprietor to scale up? So the first thing is that individual practitioners needs to convert their I would say like the firm, their individual practitioner into a sole proprietorship firm name, so that they can get the FRN. Uh, then the firm registration number. Then I think there is a need for them to look into other options. Like, for example, let's come to the options on guidelines on networking. Here, the institute has issued a guidelines in 2021, wherein it says that the easiest way that for the firms, for the proprietorship firms to really or to grow, the first step can be the aspect of uh, getting into a networking of Indian CA firms. So that's one of the networking has been proposed as this one. This is the capacity building. So basically, what is happening is in networking, we or a small the sole proprietor firm does not enter into a direct expansion mode by a partnership, rather moves into a networking. Now this guidelines has been revised in 2021, which has given three models on which we can basically grow, or the sole proprietorship firms can use it. So one model that is the alliance model, the second is the networking model, and third is networking model with lead firm concept. So this basically gives an option for the sole proprietor proprietorship firm to go into an alliance model. So this basically gives you a first step of understanding and rather using a larger capacity of the offices of the alliance members. So within that, second is the networking model, and networking model with a lead firm concept. In the third model, which is the lead firm concept, so there is a one lead firm which actually works on behalf of the entire network. So basically, we look at the first step for a proprietor can be to move from the individual proprietorship. Along with that, they can go in for alliance network or network with the lead firm concept. Now, there are many options, within that that can be done. And once it reaches to a level of understanding, and then you can also look at other options. Now, one of the things that has been said that generally there's a misconception saying that once you enter into an alliance or into a networking, suddenly your business, the practice starts growing. Actually, it's the other way around. Basically, what is the benefit of entering into a networking alliance is that there is a cost sharing. The most important is that you are, as a small firm, not required to actually incur too much cost. So there's going to be a cost sharing between the members of the alliance network. There's going to be knowledge sharing, because it's quite possible that the member of the alliance has got some expert knowledge, or you as a expert in a subject can contribute to the knowledge of the other alliance members. Then there is a most important thing. This institute is allowing a network, so the branding helps. So when you say it's a part of an alliance or a part of a network, it actually showcases to the world as an outsider, saying that you have a larger mechanism of knowledge and mechanism of delivery that is there. And among the alliance networks, there are a lot of good practices that can be shared. That's very important, because good practices in one firm can be easily copied and used it. And you can work on a common infrastructure. Thereby, what happens is that the small firms which may face difficulty in investing on infrastructure, the alliance as a whole can have a sort of a common infrastructure, and lot of quality can be improved, whether it's in terms of audit, monitoring, or the customer deliveries, engagement terms. So this can actually, from the individual driven, the alliance or the networking model can put you into a growth trajectory. Now there's another option for a firm to expand, that is onto the multidisciplinary practice. Now this multidisciplinary practice also has been notified by the institute in 2020-21. The guidelines has been issued. Now in multidisciplinary practice, as institute permits, so there is a area where you can always do partnerships, basically with other professionals. So which are the other professionals that we talk about here is company secretary. So we CA firm or this multidisciplinary firm. So this will be specifically termed as multidisciplinary practice firm. So can have an entry into the ICA practicing member can enter into an alliance with the company secretary, the cost accountant, the advocate. Of course, there is some clarification required from the bar council on the same reciprocally. The engineer, who is a member of the Institute of Engineers or engineering from a university established or recognized by the law. Architect, actuary. So what happens is that when you have a multidisciplinary practice, it also helps you to expand. So you are a partner of the institute has issued certain guidelines as to the constitution and how much percentage of partnership share that we should be holding under the CA multidisciplinary practice format. Now, having said that, so if you are able to go into a multidisciplinary practice with obtaining institute approvals and having a professional, so there's going to be wide range services. So this is more relevant for consulting assignments. So maybe a consulting assignment generated by a company secretary who is a partner, or say an architect, is because that's one of the very good method of referrals and partnerships where a CA can actually be a partner with other professional, thereby increasing the scope. So that's going to be a two-way learning for the professional. This can help for getting new clients, or from the existing referral. The existing partners can do a referral, and thereby a client is the biggest in a beneficiary, because he doesn't have to go to two different people, and the technical and the finance and legal and compliance, everything virtually has been taken care of. So the multidisciplinary practice format also can be used for a CA firm to scale up their practice. And recently there has been two notifications, which also is a good way to look into that. We talk about the notification which is published in the Gazette in 23rd January 2025. This is in regarding to the guidelines that we talk on the merger and demerger of CA firms. This is the ICI merger and demerger of CA firms guidelines 2024, which is notified on 23rd January 2025. Is a very big milestone. This also provides an opportunity. So when we talk about a movement from the sole proprietary, we may have an understanding through a networking alliance. Once the alliance is going good, we can go into a merger and demerger, and we can directly also go into merger demerger guidelines. Now let's talk about the merger, because demerger is a secondary subject. But in terms of the improved version, this merger guidelines has been made in such a format that the firm doesn't lose. The existing firm that is getting merged is not losing its seniority, and this tenure is up to 10 years. So 10 years is a long time for a relationship to be established. Even when after 10 years things are not working, in case also there is a freezing concept. So the firm name which is merged, let us assume a small firm has got merged into a larger size new structure, and they want to go back. So the seniority of that firm gets maintained. However, the purpose of having this larger merger of these firms and have a larger structure is to actually build capacity and have a formal structure, and to have as the benefits that we talk about in terms of technology, manpower, expertise, and all those things. So this institute guidelines has been notified, and this guidelines actually helps surely will help to scale up rather increase the number of partners, increase number of services, and thereby we can look at more bigger size firms which can cater on a more professional front, and all the new areas of practice also. So the beauty of this particular merger, if it once any CA firms goes, is that assuming that there's a CA who is specialized. Now when there's a specialization, it is there. So they can actually pursue the specialization, and all these CS, the partners can actually pursue specialization, and there's a common, I would say, a common pooling of those information and those type of things, which can actually help the CA firm to procure new assignments, new audit assignments or consulting assignments. We see a lot of litigations going up, a lot of tribunals being set up. So there is this is actually going to be a game changer. And there is also another guideline that has been recently published on the same day, that is on in terms of the mergers of the LLP firms. So you talk about two or more LLP firms getting merged. That also the guidelines has been issued by the institute. This is ICA aggregations of LLP guidelines 2024. This is notified on 23rd January 2025. So even in this guideline, we see that LLPs can be merged, and there's a concept of parent LLP, and this guidelines talks about how the board of management shall be constituted and how the functioning will be done. There are a lot of benefits that has been provided in terms of the reducing the authorizations, or the OTP formats have been more liberalized. The DigiLocker facilities has been provided, which is Doc Locker. Even in terms of the networking, the merger guidelines that we talk about, Institute has also activated it into the online SSP portal. So in all, if you see, if the CA firm wants to grow, there is a clear-cut path given. So whether you can go in for a multidisciplinary practice and expand, whether you go in for networking into any of the three formats, the alliance format networking or the lead networking firm format, you go in for a formal the merger and grow the size, or you already have are a part of an LLP, merge that LLP and make it a larger this one. So there are various methods that Institute has given, and of course Institute also, the ICI also is in a process of enabling an online portal for the purpose of mergers, where the interested firms and the interested partners can actually have a platform where provided by the institute for a more practical and more faster way of this one. The guidelines, the notification, the formats, everything has been done. Well, for which of course the first thing that we all need to know that as a practicing members is that we need to grow, and we cannot grow in the way that we have been doing it in the past, because there is a pressure from the client, from the our authorities. The expectations of the general public on the profession has increases manifold because of the great amount of information on the digital world. So it's very important that we actually try and look at specialization, try and have a collaboration in this format, and look at growth on a larger scale. So and of course the easiest method which we can always look at till the time the websites are also not done or is getting ready, so we can always look at certain, when we keep on attending various programs, the national conference, the international conference, this is also a good place for networking. And we have got technology, and we have to actually go and open up our thought process, because as we all know that our country is one of the or rather is one of the preferred destination for even accounting outsourcing. The world wants to do accounting outsourcing or outsourcing, which is preferred, and our profession has got that trust from the world market. So I think even to achieve that, we need to actually grow faster. We need to grow faster, and the way that our guidelines are designed, I think taking the benefit, we should take the first step. And most important, anything that we do, first we have to be clear as to what. So internal arrangements, that has to be clear, and I think this will give a good platform, growth platform for knowledge sharing, and with a flow of AI into our day-to-day working into the CA firm. I think we can scale up the practice and provide value-added services and strengthen our country. Thank you very much. Thank you.